Hello, everyone. Welcome to the stream. Um, I will just, as always, I will wait till someone confirms that they can hear me before I start babbling on. Um, so yeah, I I will be completely on the level with you. I am exhausted today. Um, Friday we travelled to Eastbourne, which was about a 5 hour drive to WinterCon, which is I've been promising to attend WinterCon for 3.5 years since Andy, the guy that runs it, who's an absolutely phenomenal guy, who runs the WinterCon charity. I met him at Dragon Meet, and that was just before COVID, and then it crossed over with another convention we were doing. Anyway, I finally got to WinterCon. I finally got to see what Eastbourne's like, and it was it was a fabulous event. I got to meet a lot of people. Got to meet a lot of people from that had previously been to see us at Brighton as well. So that was great. Um, I love Eastbourne. Yeah, I mean, I didn't get a lot of chance to see it. I wanted to go have a good walk on the coast and things, but as always is the case when you're doing conventions, you're in a little bubble. We were exhibiting there. So we were selling the dice. We took loads of dice down there, and a lot of people bought a lot of dice, which is it's good for me, but it's also nice to see the dice going to great homes. What else did we do? Yeah, so I did Friday. And sorry, Friday we drove down there. We set up the stand in the Winter Gardens in Eastbourne. Saturday we did a full day at the convention. Sunday we did a full day at the convention. I stayed over in Eastbourne on Sunday night because we had to get up about 6 o'clock in the morning because we drove up to Leeds in the north, where I picked up a van. Which, if you follow us on Instagram, you might have seen Molly. So Molly is the new Critical Kit van. She was formerly a window installer's van. She is now going to be uh, an off-grid um, base for us when we're touring about with the dice and the games. So you will see Molly about. It's going to take us a few months to um, get everything working on it. She's going to have solar panels. Hopefully, just generate all her own electric. Apart from the engine, I can't do anything about that, but we'll work on that for the next van. All this has got nothing to, well, it's vaguely to do with TTRPGs, but it's just this is me making the excuse for why I'm tired. I haven't got much planned for today, but then again, I try not to plan too much on these sessions. And then yeah, so we got up at 6 o'clock. Sarah and I drove up to Leeds, got the van, visited a member of family, and then we drove back down to just below Bristol, which is where we are based. So we did about 10 hours driving yesterday. And the last five we had to do separate, and the last because Sarah was bringing the car back down, I was bringing the van back down, and the van I didn't have the code for the radio, so I was singing to myself all the way, and thinking about Death Valley, the TTRPG I'm working on. It has been packed, and just to say that we are also then this Friday we're heading up to Manchester again because we are hitting Tabletop Gaming Live. So if there's anybody from the north, I recommend. Tabletop Gaming Live used to take place in Alexandra Palace in London. They decided to move it. I'm not sure why they decided to move it, but now it's moving up to Manchester. It's this Saturday and Sunday. It's at the Victoria Warehouse, which I believe is the it's an O2 venue. Now, we're really excited about it. We did one of the earlier TTGLs. I think it was the second one, and it wasn't ultra busy. It wasn't UKG standards, but it was a lot of fun. It's mainly board game. Well, it's pretty much board games and tabletop games, role playing games. So it's a good one. Yeah, just Sonic. Do go give it a visit because the atmosphere is great. The people that run it run I think they run two magazines, two publications. They run Tabletop Gaming magazine, and they run I think it's a Wargaming and Miniatures magazine. But they're lovely people, and I'm really looking forward to it because it's it's over the other side of the border from my home territory of Yorkshire. I haven't lived in Yorkshire for a long time, but it's yeah, it's Manchester. But I love Manchester. I've got quite a fondness for it. I think it's a lovely city. Um, what else? Yeah, so we're doing that. We're back on. I'm going to stay over again and come back on Monday. Next week the critical crates go out, so um, yeah, it's gonna be a busy week next week because the sub boxes. I think the sub dice subscription boxes go out on this Thursday. Then I've got to head up north, and then on the Monday or Tuesday we're starting packing up all the critical crates, which is a new. It's kind of like a box with just lots of role playing bits and bobs in it, like miniatures, dice, other things I'm not going to tell you about. There might be a few adventures that I've written in there. Uh, all kinds of things. We're just going to try and pack it with as much as we can. It's about 22 quid delivered, but we're going to try and pack it with about probably 30 or 40 pounds worth of stuff retail. We just want it to be, you know, just something that you can get once a month. And I've tried to keep the price as low as I can because I know times are hard for people. But yeah, that's available. I think the last day, it's probably Saturday is the last day to get in on this box. But yeah, if I don't know whether we'll have any at Tabletop Gaming Live. I don't think we'll have everything we need for the box. We're just waiting on a couple of things. There will be some cool minis in there though. What else? Yeah, then we've got 2 weeks. I say 2 weeks off. We've got a couple of weeks where we're just kind of just doing normal stuff. Well, I say normal stuff. I'm probably going to launch Death Valley around then on Indiegogo. So I'm doing a lot of promos right off the bat here. Death Valley is I told a few people. I spoke to quite a lot of people about it at WinterCon because we have the big Be Like a Crow stand there, and yeah, a lot of people were definitely interested in the concept of a alternative Western horror mashup where you play the undead. I've not really found a shorter way to explain it, but when I explain some of the rules to people, it does use dice, but there's optional destiny rules, which you can see if you watched last week's stream. I did discuss this a little bit, but happy to answer any questions about that as well on this stream. What else? Oh yeah, Cthulhu went out last week. I don't know. All the Patreons got it. I think everybody that backed the initial Be Like a Crow got it. It is available for $3.99 or $4.99. I think $3.99 probably on the website. And I'm going to get it printed in the next couple of weeks, so there will be print copies. It's about 20 pages. It's more like it's more in the spirit of a Zine than Be Like a Crow was. But it is an expansion, so you need the Be Like a Crow rules. So that's a cosmic horror expansion. I'm currently, when I was driving down on my own. Oh, that's great, Past. That's excellent to hear. Yeah, yeah, that'd be good as well. I'd like to know how that goes because, yeah, with it being sort of Cthulhu, It'd be interesting to see how if they like the vibe that I've created on that game. Um, what else? Yeah. So Essen's the big news, isn't it? Germany. I am. That's about 3 weeks away, and I feel I've got to a stage where I'm quite relaxed about most conventions I do now. Um, there's always a lot of driving involved. There's always the before and after the setup, but once the conventions get going, yeah, they're really enjoyable. I mean, one thing I never do that someone told me right at the outset was to take lozenges with me, and I never take lozenges. I always say I'm going to take them. I never take them, so I always end up with losing my voice at conventions because you just talk to so many people. But yeah, Essen's going to be. I think I've got nervous excitement about Essen because we've got to get down. We've got to get down to Eurotunnel maybe, or maybe get a ferry. Then we've got to get across to Germany, and there's still. I suppose once you get there, the concept's pretty much the same for the setup and the breakdown of of things and just meeting people. But I've heard there's over 100,000 people go to that, whereas normally when we do UKG, which is the biggest, there's probably 25, 30,000. So yeah, yes, Pastor. Okay, yeah. So really looking forward to seeing you. We'll probably be yes, please come with lozenge packing. Come with a little a first aid kit for us, which is basically just lozenges. Because I always forget them. Always forget them. I'm really looking forward to meeting some of you that are on the stream as well. Sarah and I are quite excited about it. Because it's going to be a bit of a scary thing for us, and it'll be nice to see. Even though we've never seen your faces, it'll be nice to know there's a few friendly people there. I mean, we are. I think somebody said to me at a convention this week when I said there were so many lovely people there. They said, "Well, you're getting the best of people at a convention, and you do get the best of people at conventions. You've got So WinterCon was it was less focused on RPGs, but there was a massive RPG contingent there. They do cosplay and just general nerdy stuff. But yeah, somebody did make that point. You get the best of people, and they are in. For just for the day or the 2 days that they are there, they can just get off the street, lock themselves in a bubble. It doesn't matter what even if they don't have money to spend, there's plenty to do. They don't have to worry about all the other things that are going out there in the world, and that's one of the things I love about conventions. You can just get away with like-minded people. So yeah, if you on that note, if you do, I'm going to show you the dice in a minute. Don't worry, but that I'm giving away on this stream. But if you do want to come and see us, we've got quite a lot of things booked in now. Once Molly's up and going on the road, which I'm hoping for February or March of next year, we will try and do as many conventions as we can. So we're going to try get over to Ireland. There's a Spanish one that met us at UKG, and they wanted us to go down to Spain, and I lived in Spain for a long time, so I don't need an excuse to go visit Spain. So what have we got coming up? We've got, like I said, we've got Manchester. So if you're in the north of England, please come and see us in Manchester. It'd be great. We always love meeting people. We love it when people come back and see us as well. That's always amazing. We get so many great stories. We make friends at conventions. We are doing in a couple of weeks, after 2 weeks after that, around about 6th of October, I think we are going to. Oh, that'd be lovely. Do come. I mean, I think it goes without saying, but do come and see us, Sonic 13. We're doing Essen in Germany, which I've just been talking about. I think that's going to be a bigger one. Then the next one we will be doing, I think we're going to do one in Exeter, which is only about 45, 50 minutes away from us. We'll probably bring little Izzy with us to that one. I don't know whether you've ever met Izzy. If you've watched the Be Like a Crow stream, you will have seen Isabel, my daughter, who plays. She's 13. She plays Be Like a Crow with me occasionally. She used to come to all the first conventions, and then things like UKGE, because of her age, she wasn't allowed to come for the break setup, so she stopped coming. But she's going to start coming back to some conventions with us. Yeah, she'll be behind the stand as well, probably sneaking off to play a few games is what she normally does. Then so we're going to do Exeter, which is UK CGF. Where else are we going? Then so we're going to Dragon Meet in London. That's Hammersmith. Do try go to Dragon Meet. Just look it up, Dragon Meet. It's in Hammersmith in London. It's in the Novotel. It is a little gem. Not a lot of people know about it. If you know, you know. It's a bit like Fight Club. Yeah, head to Dragon Meet. It's this will be my third time there. My third year exhibiting there. We only missed one with COVID. It's fabulous. It's such a great space, and it is really heavy RPG. You can get yourself booked in on free RPGs there. 1, 2, 3, 4 hours. Go to talks, etc. And then just heading quickly into next year, we're going to have January off, and February we will be in Bournemouth for Beachhead, which we love. We love Beachhead. It is touted as a Warhammer convention, but it's not a Warhammer convention. Trust me, there's a lot of Warhammer going on, and it's worth it. Even if you don't play Warhammer, it's worth just going around and looking round the main hall, because the hall is absolutely huge. It's right on the front near the pier. They must have 50 or 60 tables set up, all with different tournaments going on. They're absolutely some of the I guess the dioramas, whatever they call it in Warhammer, the terrain is just absolutely phenomenal. And yeah, it's amazing to go see. There's also, I'm not going to tell you much more about this one, but there is a new, I think it's in February, there is a brand new High Wafix 777. Um, there is a new a board gaming convention coming to Exeter as well. I can't really say much about that. It's nothing to do with me, other than that I will be there. But I know the people that run it. They're keeping it under tabs. But just there is something coming to Exeter for board gaming. So we're getting something in the southwest that is that's going to cater to us RPG and board gamers, rather than just sort of comic cons that have an RPG or a nerdy element tagged on. We'll be doing UKGE next year. Obviously, what comes? Oh, Aircon. So we booked for Aircon, which is in March, which is in Harrogate, another great one in the north of England. Such a friendly. I think it's run by Ben and Mark, two guys. They're fabulous, and UKG actually help with that one now. And yeah, I'm sorry I haven't started on the world building yet, but I did plan on just doing a bit of TTRPG talking on this one as well. On that note, if you want to ask anything about TTRPGs, or you want to tell me anything about TTRPGs, because I'm still, we're always learning, all of us. Throw it in the chat. I'll try answer any questions. If it's related to how I write things, how I start with things, how I tackle certain aspects of them. Yeah, need for it. Yeah, there probably is a need for a Welsh tabletop. Right. Okay. So there was a really good one in Wales that we did once called Dragon Days, and it was run by a chap who it's a charity one. It was done in a sports hall in Newport. We did it. We had an absolutely great time. Again, people were absolutely amazing there. Although it was more just trading stands. But it was it was a lot of fun. Well, I think there were some games going on upstairs. We didn't really get to go upstairs, because the problem is when you've only got a day, they're quite intense. So I tend to be on the stand pretty much all of the time, either talking to people about the games they're currently in. Everybody loves telling me their stories, and I love hearing them. Or the alternative is that I'm stood talking about Be Like a Crow, or telling people about what I'm working on at the moment, and discussing things, and hopefully trying to get them to buy my games. But yeah, I do tend to I like the crossover conventions where you've got cosplay and stuff, because they are really fun to see all the great cosplay, and to see all the people and how enthusiastic they are and how committed they are to what they do. But I also like the board game and tabletop, the role-playing game focused ones, because that's where I generally pick up a lot of my new games. So a lot of the games I buy, a lot of things like Dune, Tales from the Loop, all those kind of things that I've got on the shelf behind me, I tend to pick them up from there. On that note, I guess what would be a good conversation to have, actually talking about the books back there, moving on from the conventions a bit. A good conversation to have would be about, how does everybody feel about digital content? Because at this moment in time, I'm trying to hello, Sarah. Sarah has joined us, my wonderful wife. Yeah, I've been thinking about getting rid of all of my books, all of not all of my books, just my D&D books. Cthulhu map doesn't have hexes. That's a good point. No, I will. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll do another release of it with hexes. That's fine. That's well spotted. You can imagine them though. Yes, no, that is probably an error on my part, and I wasn't aware of that. I will put them on. Don't you worry about that. So yeah, um, I don't know what everybody thinks about using digital content. Cthulhu is currently only in digital, so that's a good thing to bring up. I am going to make it a physical copy of as well because I know people like that. But I was thinking about maybe going just going D&D Beyond because a lot of the things there. I guess what annoys me a little bit about D&D Beyond is that once you've bought the source books, you don't have um you don't have any kind of discount or anything. Not that I'm aware of. And and then the other side of it, I do love. It's going to be a hard one to do going digital with my RPG stuff because um they're just nice to look at on the shelf. They're on the shelf there. But I am getting to a stage where I do feel like yeah. So yeah, Wizards has bought D&D Beyond. I hope they do start doing something like that. Yeah, yeah. Digital is definitely good for quick reference during gameplay. Yeah, and Pastor, I agree with you on that as well. It's a grey area for me because I agree with both points of view. I love digital when I'm at a table, but I also love kind of turning around and just flicking through, flicking through a book, and especially when you've read a book a lot and you know where things are, you know where you're going straight to them. There's another thing. This is weird about books. Why I like having them is that like having things on a Kindle or when I've got a book, I feel this is going to sound really weird. I feel spatially aware of the rest of the content, whereas when I'm looking at something on digital, I can't. Um, it doesn't feel the same. I don't have that awareness of that. The next section is about this, and the previous section is about that because especially on D&D Beyond, you're just looking up one thing, I guess, and it doesn't really work like that because it's a web page. Um, Yeah, so I do struggle. Like I'm the same when I'm reading books on Kindle as well, which is why I've got like three. I mean, these bookshelves I've got behind me go way across there. Um, yeah, digital doesn't feel. It is a spatial thing. It's almost like I know where I am in the book, and I'm reading that, and even though I'm not thinking about what's before and what's after. Um, Yeah, yeah, you can place. Yeah, I think spatially is definitely, and it's a weird thing because it's definitely just a psychological thing because ultimately it's probably a lot quicker and easier just to type something into D&D Beyond and find. Um, yeah, I agree with that. I agree. Concentrating sometimes. I do like Kindles. I still have the same thing about having a physical book. Um, I'd rather have a physical book, but I can read on Kindles a little bit better. I still remember my AD&D second, yeah, PHP. Exactly. And that's the thing, isn't it? It's strange, isn't it? You can just click on a link or type something into Google these days, and you can get anything, any fifth edition official rule, even if it's not even from the official D&D Beyond site. It's out there somewhere. Whereas that knowing where something is, it almost feels like it feels like a craft or something, like the GM's craft or even the player's craft. So Jasonic, that is the thing. Um, so one of the goals that Sarah and I always had was to, as we got older and our kids moved out and things, we wanted to make a tiny house rather than having a big house. And also with Molly the van, we when we're out on the road and things, it's good for us to have everything that everything we want to read in a digital format because we can't carry books. If we're doing if we're starting to tour a lot more, we still want to obviously run the business. We still got the business to run from its base here, but when we're out and about for 3 or 4 days, yeah, we need something that we can read. Um, so yeah, it's strange. I guess okay, so another interesting question is D&D Beyond. I know you can buy things on D&D Beyond. I've not used it that much because I've always used the books. I've used it a couple of times to do character sheets. Um how does everybody feel about the sort of not owning things model? Because so going further away from actually owning something, but then there's the not owning things model, which is where you are paying. Let's say you're paying D&D Beyond, and I assume it does work in some ways like this, that you pay a certain level of membership and you get access to a lot of things, but as soon as you reel back from that level of membership, you lose a lot of content. So effectively over time you are probably paying. So I guess like Netflix, etc., and things, you're not going out anymore and buying DVDs. Um, but it's I guess it's kind of like streaming D&D content, isn't it? It's I don't know how everybody feels about like that sort of model, not owning things. I'm not sure how I feel about not owning things. Hmm. Yeah, so well, I mean that's fine if you. I would always prefer that if you buy it digital, so on Kindle you can buy it and it's there and it's yours. It doesn't matter, providing Amazon still exists. Yeah, for character sheets on DDB, I'm still buying DVDs because I want to own certain movies. Well, yeah, thank you. That's true, but I guess yeah. So I still do. So on my Amazon Prime, I have got. In fact, what's annoying is that my videos are spread across things that I bought are spread across certain things. So I've got like Blade Runner, some Apocalypse Now. I've got some movies that I've always loved. Close Encounters of the Third Kind, things that Jaws, things that I've loved since I was young, and I probably actually buy more nostalgic movies. Um, Probably buy more nostalgic movies than new movies. I would stream new movies, but yet movies I really sort of grew up with. Let me have a little look at what's going on in here. So I mean we can do a little bit of world building, but I think the discussion's going really well. So maybe we just keep talking a little bit about TTRPGs because I am fresh out of a convention where I've been talking about them for 2 days. Um, so I'm in that mindset. Oh, I should show you the dice anyway. Shall we take a look at the dice and then we can get back to this? So these are new. I am going to put these up on the site tomorrow. Before I show you these, I want to tell you about some other dice we've got as well. We've got some sharp edge dice that've got um, they've got little koi fish in them, and then they've got a tiny what looks like a bit of coral, and then a blue wave underneath them, and they look absolutely fabulous. I mean, I was blown away. These have got sort of they're clear acrylic, and they have kind of like um acrylic poured into them once the acrylic set a little bit, so you get this kind of. I'll see if I can show you that. I could actually. I think yeah. It's this camera is not the best. I'm gonna see. Right, just give me a second. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna see if I can get my. I do have a webcam setting thing, which will probably allow me to do a zoom. So let's see if we can open that. Yeah, they right. They do remind you of our. But I'll tell you what we're gonna do. I'll tell you what we're gonna do on the stream actually now. That reminds me, I'm going to show them off a little bit more, but so bearing in mind that we name all of our sharp edge dice after songs by bands from any genre and any era. What I want you to do in the chat tonight is actually think of a name for these dice, and we'll still pick a winner at random because I think that the person, it could end up being the same person that names them that's the winner at random, but I think that um the person that gets to name them, that they're there for good with the name that you picked on them. So let me see if I can. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Um, let's see if I can just do some. So I think I can do. So the first thing I want to kind of do is get the. Um, do I go to advanced? Right. So we don't want to autofocus. Oh, I think. That might put me out of focus for a while, but that gives you... Okay, Sarah, that sounds fine to me. Okay, I'm going to be a little bit blurry for a while because I'm going to try and show you some more of these beautiful sharp edge dice that we're giving away on the stream today. What else have we got? There we go. Ooh, yeah. And we've got loads more now come out of production, so I'm really excited about them. Right, I'm going to put the focus back on now, unless you want me to stay blurred. Right, okay. So yeah, so Sarah's going to be watching the chat now. So if you can think of a name for those dice, the name has to be a song by a band from any era, because we name all of the... If you go on our site and you look at all the sharp edge dice, you will see that they are named after... They all have a musical theme, so they're all named after songs. That could be, modern bands. We've got ones like Rolling Stones. We've got new bands like the Falls. We've got electronic dance bands. We've got all kinds of bands. Just songs, should I say? So long and thanks for all the fish. Theirs would be good for the... That's a good... Right, that is a really good name for the koi ones. And I might... That is also... that's also a quote from... oh, come on. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. That's the one I was looking for, when all the dolphins leave the Earth. I'm just going to take another drink of water because, as I said, I've been talking for 2 days solid. And so... don't forget to tell your friends about the stream as well. I didn't do Be Like a Crow last Thursday. 2 reasons. First reason was I was feeling a little bit tired and a bit just we were getting ready. We've been getting ready for we were getting ready for the convention, but also, as you will probably know wherever you're from, Queen Elizabeth died the same day, and she the news of her passing came about 10 minutes before the stream was due to start, and I just didn't think it was the right thing to do to go ahead with the stream. I am, even though we're going away this Friday, I will be doing Be Like a Crow. Might be the last session of Cybercrow, or we might get one more out of it. I'm definitely going to go into October doing Cthulhu, so we'll you'll get to see that in action. Other ideas I've had for that are I think I might do, while I'm doing Death Valley, I think I'll do a Western one, Pocket Full of Rainbows. That's a good one. I think I'll do a Western Crow one. I'm trying to think of names. When I was in the van on the way back in Molly, driving down on the way back, radioless, I was somewhere south of Birmingham. I spent about 30 minutes trying to think of cool names for a Western Crow, because Cthulhu just gave itself to me, and I'll tell you about that in a second. A Western one and a sci-fi one. I want to do like a sci-fi crow where you can get a little capsule, and instead of just traveling around one hex by flying, you will actually travel around one hex by getting yourself in a little faster than light spacecraft of some kind. The Dark, the Crow, and the Feather. So that's what I was doing just south of Birmingham. Origin story of Cthulhu. I was at UKG this year, and Be Like a Crow was just... I mean, it was so well received, and it was on this... I think it was on the last day, on the Sunday, and a guy asked... There was a guy who did Cthulhu stuff opposite us. He did a map. He did maps and things, and I went over to look after... A guy next to him asked me to look after his stand for a moment while he went to the bathroom, and I was kind of looking at it was the first time I'd sort of looked at our stand from that distance, and I just saw the Be Like a Crow stuff, and it just, I don't know what it was. It was the confluence of the Be Like a Crow and the Cthulhu stand at the side of me, and I just, in my head, I just went Cthulhu, and that was it. I I I couldn't wait to get back across the hall to write. In fact, I think I abandoned this poor guy's stand for like 20 seconds to go get a pen, because the problem is with when you're at conventions, things people can come up to you and you can forget ideas fast, and forgetting an idea is one of the worst things in the world. So I just I shouted a pen from Sarah and just wrote down Cthulhu in big letters, and just put it behind the desk. So yeah, that was where. So Cthulhu was actually born at UKGE. Um, yeah. So that's the very exciting origin story of Cthulhu. Um, So yeah, so those are the dice. So you keep coming up with the names. If you've got any fun ideas for names for, I mean, they don't have to be puns, but I'm going to be working on 3 over the next 6 or 7 months, because I've got other things going on. But expansions for Cthulhu, I will probably release. I want to do a space one or a science fiction one. I want to do a Western one, and I want to do I'm thinking about a pirate one. I'm thinking about. I mean, the crow's nest may be a bit obvious for that one. I don't know. Um, but yeah. So maybe I could actually start doing some world building rather than just nattering about TTRPGs. Although, before we do that, um, what is everybody else playing? Because I'm really looking forward to trying to get a group of um other small businesses together we went out for a meal with a couple of small business owners who we see at every convention. It's the first time we actually managed to get out with them on Saturday night, and we discussed doing a Tales from the Loop. I do know there's another guy, Unite the Realm, and who has been on another one of our streams. He played High Stakes. He was really interested in doing it, so I was just thinking about getting a few small business people together and doing a Tales from the Loop. But then I'm also thinking about doing the Death Valley. So when we launch Death Valley in a couple of weeks, just before Essen, I would like to probably during the launch do a playthrough of it. I mean, the rules are in beta, but I think they're strong enough to run a session with and have a lot of fun with. So yeah, and I'd like to test out the scenes. The scenes are definitely something I'd love to test out, because the fact that you can, as a player, you can draw a tarot card that gives you a vague prompt, and then you can at any point you can say, right, I want to play this scene, and play your tarot card. That is an optional rule, but yeah, I'm looking forward to giving that a little test. So yeah, so what games are you all playing at the moment? Are you I love D&D, but I've got to say that I have seen a lot of appetite for, especially people that have come to D&D maybe through Critical Role, and that's their first introduction to role-playing games. I've seen a big appetite for seeing what else is out there, what else is out there in the landscape of role-playing games. I'm definitely interested in Tales from the Loop. I'd love to have a go at June. I think the only thing I struggle with June is at the moment is the thing I struggle with June is just the amount of it feels like there's a lot of effort goes into playing with it, and that's not a bad thing, but it feels like something that you would have to have a campaign set up, and everybody then has to have the rule books and things, because it's not really like there's a lot of heavy rules, I feel, in that. I mean, it's a 2d20 system, so in essence it's quite simple, but you actually do build houses. So yeah. Hey ads, thanks for joining us. We're talking, we haven't done any building yet. We are talking, I have been babbling on about conventions for the best part of 30 minutes. We've spoken about we're just having a little RPG chat, I guess. That's what we're doing. So I'm just asking what everybody's playing at the moment. The Star Trek adventures. Yeah, I've never. One thing I've not really, with the exception of June, I've never really been into sort of space RPGs. I don't have any interest in Spelljammer, which might sound strange. I love the concept of it. I've got no issues, with a D&D space setting. Although that also does lean into the argument of why um would you, if you were doing sci-fi, would you pick D&D is not, is it one size fits all? That's what I'm trying to get. Is D&D, do you think D&D can be just um shaped into anything? So if you wanted to play Star Trek, you could get some Star Trek rules. I'm aware there's some Star Wars rules for D&D. Or do you think that, I know what I think about this, but do you think that, there should definitely be, for different genres, there should be different rule sets? There's Brindlewood Bay, which has a really interesting system. You're all folks solving a crime with the clues you discover. That sounds a lot of fun. But there's no specific way for clues to come together. It's what the players decide when they uncover the clues and see how they could link together. Yeah, that sounds like a lot. That sounds actually quite good, because one of the things we've been doing is we've been trying to get some of our grown-up friends into D&D and or some kind of role-playing game, and I think it's hard without them seeing how, you know a lot of people that don't know about role playing games in depth see Dungeons and Dragons is obviously the poster game for role playing games, so they think it's wizards and dragons and etc. And they don't realize that there are so many. When I tell people I've written a role playing game about crows, they're just like, "Oh right, okay, crows." Um, so yeah, it's I my thoughts on systems is, I think D&D is so heavily invested in high fantasy, that's where it should stay. Um, that's fine if if it's not something I'm uber passionate about. So I'm not bothered when people tell me that they're doing what they want with the game, because we spoke to some young people that said this weekend, that said they weren't that bothered about reading all the rules, because as long as they had the basics, they made other stuff up as they go along. And I think that's how most people start playing RPGs anyway. And the good thing about that is, you might lose balance, but if your game's more of a storytelling game, then I don't think that's a bad thing. And I do enjoy storytelling games. So yeah, but I do feel like I am of the mindset that your mechanics should try and be thematic towards the game that you're doing. So they should be. So for instance, one of the reasons I brought the I don't know what it was about the tarot cards in Death Valley that just felt right. There was something about them, the destiny rule and destiny, and especially you're playing undead characters and you're playing cowboys and fate and destiny. It kind of felt right. Let me have a look. Drops of Jupiter. That's Train, I believe. That's actually a really good name. I like that one, but unfortunately, I think Sarah's gonna have the last word on this. I'll put them in a draw. There's a really cool court mechanic, particularly makes me interested in STA, but I can't think. Yeah, I think D&D can be adapted to most things, and you know what? It's not the worst thing in the world, because not everybody's got time to pick up books, or can can financially afford to buy lots of books. And if you've invested in the D&D, in the D&D books, the core books, then yeah, sure, go for it. Use D&D for anything. I don't know. You use it for some kind of farm simulator where you play a farmer, and all your all your PCs are, which is actually a good analogy, isn't it, for D&D? So the GM is the farmer, and the PCs are the sheep that he's trying to herd, or cats, probably more realistic. Girls is a fantastic system. Etch a Sketch. I haven't actually started building anything at the moment. We're doing a few things. I've been talking about. We're just talking about RPGs in general. I just thought it'd be nice. Um, my headspace is at the moment because I've had a really busy weekend. It's kind of all over the place. So I think a meandering chat is probably better. If there's anything anybody does want to do on Not of This Earth, though, please feel free to just drop it in the chat. We can do that. We can move on to Not of This Earth and jump back off it again. I'm just enjoying the chat at the moment, and just reading all your comments. Um, High Society on top of a D&D campaign. Where was that? Where was that mentioned? High Society. I like that. That sounds fun. High Society on top of a D&D campaign. Um, I feel like D&D could be adapted to fit many different settings, but I see it as a jack of all trades, master of none if that's the case. If you want something Star Wars related, for example, there are systems out there specific. Yeah, yeah, I suppose so. I mean, I think when you're making, you are just making mechanics for a single D20 system generally, aren't you? Um, when you're adapting D&D for things. I suppose. Well, yeah, I suppose generally you would be doing if you're talking about how if a spaceship can successfully jump to light speed or etc. You'd probably have a D20 based skill check for that. So I guess it does have the core rules. It's I don't know. I just feel it's a tricky one because I feel like the rules should definitely feel right for the system. And yeah, you're probably right. D&D is a one size fits all to an extent. Yeah, a Jane Austen style thing. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. I was actually thinking of the movie Clueless or something. So I was thinking about I was thinking about that old sort of I believe it was a 90s movie maybe or something. Um but yeah, there's all I guess I wonder what system that would use. You know, the trials and tribulations of high school. Um Right. Okay. So that was a good old chat about RPGs. I was if we did jump into Not of This Earth, I was thinking about maybe picking up the Gods again. Although we might not do yet because I still feel like maybe there's some things we can talk about. Um, I hope. Speaking of other RPGs, I do hope you all get a chance to try Death Valley when it comes out. I'm really looking forward to seeing people actually playing that or just getting feedback from people playing it because I think the Western the twist on a Western, so an alternative unit. I know it's been done before. I know it's not brand new, but actually having the players play the undead, it feels right to me, and it feels like a nice new fun spin on it. So yeah, no ideas. No one's come up with ideas for Be Like a Crow name, so I guess you're gonna leave that to me. Moseying into the saloon as an undead cowboy is a winner, surely. Yeah, it is. There's a few things that have started developing on that game as well, what are quite fun. So the concept of the town being trying to keep itself away. So Bardo's Bluff. I did speak a little bit about this last week, but I'll talk about it very briefly again now. The Bardo is a place. I think it's Tibetan. It's in Tibetan culture. The Bardo is a place between this life and the next life. Um, and the whole idea of having the town called Bardo's Bluff, it's a place where people who have been wrongfully killed um, end up in this particular universe. Um, so you could have been wrongfully killed for a lot. You could have been hung for someone else's crime. You could have been shot in the crossfire um of a showdown. You could have wandered out into the desert, got lost, and died. Whatever way you've died, you've kind of died. Not it's just one of those horrible accidents or just wrong. You've been wrongfully killed. So you end up in Bardo's Bluff as undead. So you can choose the type of undead that you end up as. And those could probably those would probably be related to your backstory. You do have a background, so the background you have in Death Valley is actually your previous life. So you kind of got two backgrounds. You've got your previous life, and then you've got the background. So you've got your background that's your previous life, and then you've got your current background, however long you've been undead for. You might not care. You might not know how you were wrongfully killed. It might not be something that's on your radar. So you wouldn't necessarily be any kind of revenant or anything, but also there is the choice to, you know, become a revenant. And yeah, you can make it your mission amongst the other things you do in your campaigns. You can make it your mission to go and avenge your wrongful death. The only thing I haven't decided upon at the moment is what happens to a character who resolves their matter, the matter that you know that caused their wrongful death, or the matter that they have to you know that caused them to be undead in the first place. I haven't decided whether they just continue being undead or whether something happens where they transfer from the bardo into the next world and then you roll up a new character. I'll just quickly find the word, your comment. I'm trying to think of names. So like we had Cthulhu for the Cosmic Horror Crow game. I'm trying to think of names for a space one. I'm trying to think of names for a Western one and potentially a pirate one. And if anybody's got any more genres as well they want to throw in the pot for Be Like a Crow, I mean, I'm just happy to, over the years, keep writing them. Oh, Fistful of Feathers. Okay. I'm gonna ask Sarah now to write that one down. That is an absolute that is inspired. Is that A Fistful of Feathers? That is absolutely wonderful. Thank you very much. I have a feeling that that's going to take some topping, and it might be that next year, early in the year, you do see an expansion called A Fistful of Feathers. That is, yeah, that's wonderful. Thank you for that, Toxic Fanbase. So we've also got the space one. I'm still happy for people to try and I'm still happy for people to try and outdo Toxic Fanbase with that name, because that was fabulous. Yeah, so yeah, the space one. I have to say I was very tired driving last night anyway, because we did 10 hours driving yesterday, so that was I was struggling to. I'm usually quite good and quite sharp at coming up with several different names and then landing on one, but yesterday I wasn't there. A pirate one. Any other genres you think we should do for Be Like a Crow as well? I mean, the whole point of this is, you know, you get to have some input as well. So if there's anything you'd like to see, I will put it on the roadmap for Be Like a Crow, and we'll have a go. We'll have a go at making it, just making a set of prompts. You can also feel free to make your own prompts as well. You know, High Society Crows. Yeah, okay, that's topical for this particular stream. Yeah, I guess there's so many different genres. I've only touched on the kind of, you know, the top level of genres really when I'm talking about doing horror. So I don't want to do another horror. Cosmic horror felt like the right one to do because there was gothic. I think the gothic setting definitely would lend itself to if you wanted to play a more horror like game. And I don't really want to go, you know, down the roads of slasher, because I believe if you're playing it, you can some kind of cartoon world. Yeah, that'd be nice for as well. Yeah, Sarah, that'd be good for that'd be good for kids, right? Because I mean, we have had film noir style. Yeah, we could. Yeah, Gumshoe. That's a good one. So I'm sorry, is the mini that actually came with our I don't think I've got any here, but the mini that actually came with our Kickstarter did have a top hat and a monocle on it. Crow's Moss. I like. Yeah, I did. You've done what I couldn't do. I was trying to put Crow into Cosmos. I was doing Galaxy, Cosmos, Crosmos. Yeah, it's a bit of a reach, but it kind of works. Crosmos. Yeah, I don't know about that one. It does it works, but I want something that hits you. I don't know, hits you more. Crosmos. Um, but I do like it. I do like it. Film noir, I like. I like the Gumshoe or the detective one. That's quite fun. Had to crowbar it together. Oh dear. Absolutely, Tomb Crow would be fantastic. The all kind of rubber band art style for it, just like. Yeah, all right. So I mean, on that note, we did have a mum come and talk to us about Be Like a Crow, and she bought it for her 8-year-old daughter because she likes writing, and I think the concern was would it be appropriate, and I think at that sort of age, it definitely needs an adult with you, not because of the content, but just for the rules, just to help with the rules. But yeah, I feel like definitely my daughter Isabel, 12 or 13, would be able to play. So the Tomb one might be quite a nice idea. Xenocrow. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good name, ads. Yeah, that is good. That needs to be thrown in the pot, for sure. I like that one. Chronomorph. Oh, ads is on a roll now. Okay, Chronomorph. Yeah, I like that one as well. Any other genres? I'm interested to know what other genres people would like to play Be Like a Crow in. I'm trying to think what would I mean I always try to think what I'd like to play in, which is where Cthulhu as well kind of came from. And I will be playing it in probably about 2 weeks, hopefully heading into the spoopy season. The first thing to know, underwater crows, yeah. We could have underwater crows. Your penguins. Penguins. Right, you see, penguins would have to be the baddies or pelicans. I try to put really just strange, the stranger members of the avian family. I try to put them in as the trouble causers. So I know that in Cthulhu, I'm pretty sure there's cultist pelicans. I'm going to get it up actually and see what. Let's have a look and see what's. Let's go through some of the creatures. Yeah, pelicans are nightmare birds. We did go to no, we didn't go to see them. I get them mixed up with flamingos. That's a horrific thing to do. But yeah, I'm kind of wishing I'd have put flamingos in this one now. Let's have a look and see if I can just open up Cthulhu. Here we go. I'm going to see some of the creatures we've actually got in this. So they're no big spoilers here. So there we go. The cosmic horror setting. I'll just turn the brightness down a bit. There we are. Let's have a look. If you didn't see Cthulhu yet, I will actually just. What I'll try and do is I'll try and share my screen as I'm going through it. Give me a moment. I may as well have a little look at it, and then if you do have any questions about it, you can ask away. Oh, Miami Crow. Miami 5 Crow. Oh, that's a good, yeah. That's a good one. Yeah. I mean, I do believe it's endless. I do believe I'm going to be writing Be Like a Crow expansions for the rest of my life now. Let's have a little look here then. So we got the document. What can I... I'll just get rid of that. Just excuse me for a second while I try and find this. I'm going to try and just get the Cthulhu book open as well. And as someone did rightly say, I omitted the hexes from the map, so I'm going to release a new version. If you do buy Cthulhu from our site, or if you have bought it, whenever anything gets updated, you get an email out saying that you can download a new copy of it. So that's quite nice. It's a lot less stress. So again, going back to the discussion we had earlier on about printed versions versus physical versions, I know the first copy of Be Like a Crow, which I hope makes it worth more money, had some issues in it. The second printing that's going out now, there were some formatting issues. There was a mention of a chapter that didn't exist, which was not good. And yeah, I think that was it really. I don't think it was too bad. So yeah, let's sorry, I was actually putting this on anyway. So what's it called? It's just called Cthulhu. Let's take a look at it. Document. There we go. So let me just, I'm just gonna no, I'm not gonna do it that way. I'm just gonna do a bit of live stream editing here to see behind the curtain. Let's do a little bit more. Oops. There we go. That should do. So, yeah. So this is Cthulhu. All my Patreons received this last week, and as did anybody that backed the original Be Like a Crow. I kind of gave this as a thank you to everybody. So yeah, let's just take a little look. I just wanted to go through it quickly anyway. I didn't actually have a plan to do this because I was going to just chat a little bit. I did say my head's a little bit mashed from all the driving I did yesterday, so it was more a case of seeing if we got into making the world. But I said I just wanted to talk a bit about RPG, so this is an ideal opportunity to discuss Be Like a Crow a little bit. So yeah, let's take a look at. I'm just going to make it a little bit smaller on my screen, then I can see what I'm doing. So if we come down a little bit. Oh yeah, that's making it smaller on everything though, so I do need to bring it back. Sorry about that. Once I get this right. There we go. Okay, that'll do. So yeah, so let's come down the page a little bit. So I'm just trying to see. We've got some wonderful art. I've taken some of Kiesa's original art and adapted it a little bit. So this in the book. I love this stuff. So we've got some we've got some pretty horrific crows in this thing. So in the expansion, you have actually got I'll bring him back down a bit while I discuss this. Yeah, so in the expansion, it is pretty much, if you've got the rule book, which you really need to have the rule book to sort of use this expansion anyway. But if you have got the rule book, you will you'll notice that it's formatted in exactly the same way. You have sort of like objectives that you can generate. You have characters, locations, and objects, things that you find. So let's just come through. So there is. I always write a little bit at the start of when I introduce life cycle stages, just to try and give people, because if people haven't played a solo role playing game before, they might be a little bit, well, what do I do? So I put a little bit of my writing in there. So you can see that, you know, you get the same sort of you've got the same life cycle stages when you're a fledgling, a juvenile, an adult. You get different character augmentations. So yeah, that works in exactly the same way. There is something new in this that I'll discuss. There is the fear rule. We'll come to that in a moment. Oh, in fact, it's right here. So we've got the rules of fear. So basically, the way fear rules work is that certain prompts have have some text that says fear at the side of them, and when you come across those prompts, when you draw those prompts, you have to make a fear check. If you fail your fear check, you take a tick. Then what happens is, every time you make any kind of check, you have to take the number of fear ticks you have off that check. So for instance, you might get +2 to your flying checks or your hop checks, but because you're currently afraid with a one tick, you have to take one off, so it kind of negates one of those ticks, and it gets increasingly harder. The more scared you get, it gets increasingly harder to become unafraid. So there's two things that happen in Cthulhu. You become afraid and you become less afraid. So yeah, so there's rules for that. So then we've got objectives. So I'm gonna just skip past the objectives at the moment. It's the characters. So Brown Jenkin is actually a character from one of H.P. Lovecraft's original books. He's a rat with a human face. We've got a gangster on the run. We've got occult investigators. We've got Lilith, the demon raven. We've got a crazed sea captain. We've got a falcon controlled by a cult using alien magic. A horrified guillemot. And the reason I got onto this is because we were just discussing pelicans there. A deep one, a taxi driver, a charlatan medium, the editor of a local newspaper, and a swan high priest of Cthulhu. We've got Eldritch Nightmares. We've got Dr. Henry Armitage, which who is a real character out of H.P. Lovecraft's books, a war veteran. We've got Yug, which is something I created. A talking horse. What else we've got? We've got Herbert West. If you've seen Reanimator, he's a real thing. Please excuse this horrible beastie that's going to go across your screen right now. Yeah, so that is Cthulhu. I will get rid of it momentarily. But yeah, so you can see on the new character sheet we have fear. And then the last thing I did is I created Ruxbridge. I think Arkham is actually, it was okay for me to use Arkham, the name, but at the end I just decided to create the town of Ruxbridge. So this is the town where all of your stuff takes place. So I will put some hexes on that. There are kind of squares on it, but I will add some hexes, and that is it. That is yeah, that is Cthulhu. That is exactly where the inspiration for that came from. I do like to put things that are a little bit so Mr. Ed, it was exactly where the inspiration for the talking horse. When I was young, I don't know that was actually on, so that would have been from my parents' age, but they were still showing that kind of thing. So yeah, I did try and drop a few, and I know Lovecraft is problematic, so it's, the thing is to just take the good things that he did, separate the art from the artist, and take the good things that he did, which is what I attempted to do in that game. So let's get Not of This Earth back up. I don't think we're going to have much time to do anything with Not of This Earth, unfortunately, but that's not a problem. I hope you've all kind of enjoyed the stream, because it's oops. It has it hasn't entirely gone to plan. It's been a meandering talk about RPGs, but that's kind of what I did come on with the intention of doing tonight, just having a little chat about RPGs. So yeah, good, yeah, and it's a nice change. I do intend to get back into the world building again probably next week. I will manage to get. I think I'll have enough energy in me to do Be Like a Crow this week. We love a plan that doesn't come together. Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is pretty much what role playing games are about, right? So yeah, I mean, if there's anything you want to ask as well, or anything, any comments or suggestions you've got about just RPGs in general, any controversial views you've got, or any non-controversial views you've got, I'm willing to join the discussion, or just take on board your comments. I've already learnt one thing today, and that is that my Cthulhu didn't have hexes, so it was worth doing it for that. That's something that I will be working on. I suppose I should. I mean, it's my stream. I can talk a little bit about my business if I want. I did at the start, so I'm going to do a little bit more. We have got loads of new. Any DM who has ever planned anything, yeah, for their table exactly. Um, we yeah, we've got a couple of things. DM's box this month is potions. That's going out. I'm sat. You can't see them, but over the other side of where I'm sat here, there is something. There are several hundred things that are going in the DM, not the DM boxes, the dice boxes. So I'm quite excited about them getting out there. I made them all by hand. So yeah, looking forward to that. Well, I didn't make the contents by hand, but I put everything together. I assembled it by hand. So I'm excited about you seeing them. The last day to get in on the dice box will be tomorrow. It's the 14th. Yeah, we do the cut off on the 14th, and um the theme is potions. There's also going to be something potions related in the critical crate box, but that's a bigger thing than this. We got loads of new dice going on in the store as well. We had lots coming today. I know it's not for tonight's set of dice, but do you do a set of black sharp edge dice? Not any seems. Have you considered the name Blackbird? Um, I love Blackbird. I love the song Blackbird. Or Alter Bridge. Yeah. Do you know, I've always wanted to do some black dice, and it's nothing to do with the crow thing. Critical Kit, when we started it, it's always, our colours have always been black and white because we've always said the dice were the star of the show. So we've just kept those two black and white colours, and I suppose it reflects how people feel about some dice. You know, they're black and white. You love them or you hate them. But yeah, we tried to keep our branding simple. We've tried to keep everything because the dice and the things that we produce are the star of the show. So I've always wanted to kind of do some black dice. We do have a few range of black dice, but yeah, maybe that'd be a good idea if ever people keep asking me about not as much as they used to do, but people keep asking me about our own custom dice. What I would say about that though is that Sarah does have all the stuff now. She's started her journey in dice making, so we do have pressure pots, we have vacuum stuff, we do have a master with our logo on it with the critical kit helm, which is pretty exciting. So Sarah's done a couple of tests on that. We are going to so there might be a stream coming up in the future with dice on it. I might try and get Sarah on the stream, and we'll do something to do with dice. We'll talk about making dice. It's something we've always wanted to do as a company, move into manufacturing dice, so we can so we can make sure they're made ethically, because there's only so much control you get from like countries like China where they make the dice. You can't always be sure under what conditions they're made, and we do as much due diligence as we can when we have things produced. Often we try to get things produced in the UK, but dice is just something you cannot get produced in the UK. So maybe that would be a nice thing for Critical Kit's future, to get a small operation going. So yeah, but we are yeah, we're definitely looking to start. Sarah's looking to start making her own dice. So we've got two big projects going on at the moment, outside of what we normally do, and that's Sarah looking at doing the dice. We've got a few other bits and bobs around that, and Molly, who I spoke about at the beginning, who is is going to become like our tour bus. So yeah, we will often be, hopefully next year, hitting the road a lot more with Molly, and Molly will have lots of dice on board. So yeah, we may do some dice. We've got some, so we've got some really cool dice in the advent calendars we're doing this year. We're only doing a 12-day advent calendar this year, and the reason we're doing that because the dice are quite luxurious. So, and we know people like to, buy. There's lots of other people selling 24-day advent calendars. Yeah, we are doing the rock and roll tour. Lots of yeah, lots of people are selling advent calendars. So we're going to try and do something. We're doing something that has two sets of dice in it, but those dice are going to be wow. They are available on the site now. One of the sets of dice in there, it is a very wintry themed set, and it's a set of resin sharp edge dice with a metal frame around it. So the frame ties into the actual dice as well. So yeah, you get two sets of dice. There's one sharp edge set, and then there's one really I can't tell you too much about them because I don't want to give away any spoilers. And I'd probably sell more of them if I told you exactly what they look like, but I'm not going to do that. But they're on the website. If you go search for advent calendars, in fact, if you search for advent calendars, what we've also got, and we do this every year, we do the horror advent calendar, the Halloween advent calendar, which has got two sets of spooky resin dice, one sharp edge set and another set of resin dice. They're quite spooky. We did them last year with skulls in and a sort of almost like a candy treat set of dice. And yeah, they were very popular last year with the Halloween dice. We send them out at the beginning of October, so there's still time to get in on them. I mean, you can pretty much buy them. We were selling them still after October because everybody, there's a lot of people out there that just want to carry Halloween on all year round, and I think that's fine. I have no objection to that whatsoever. So yeah, so we have those on the site. You can also go get if you are a Be Like a Crow fan, you can also go grab all the freebies for Be Like a Crow on there. It is always spooky season, yeah. It's always, I mean, it's more spooky at Halloween, but yeah, it should always be spooky season. What else? Yeah, so we've got some great new dice coming up. We've got a few new products, accessory products in the works as well, because we are, we're always trying to do something a little bit different, and make things not just for the sake of making something you haven't got, making something that is going to help you, with your playing your RPGs, or is just going to make you feel good to own. So yeah, we always try to make things that are just slightly different. Yeah. Okay, so we're on 2018. What I'll do now is I will ask Sarah. It'll take her a moment till she hears this, even though she is just in the next room. She's watching on the stream, so she will have the same delay as you all. But I'm going to ask her to bring in, I guess, Voyage to the Corvid Nebula. Like that one. That is a good one. I guess what we will do in a moment, she will bring me in the winner of the dice, and we'll also get the person that named them. I don't know how she when she comes in, she'll tell me how we're going to do this. Yeah. So yeah, that was I really enjoyed doing this stream. I'm really sorry that we didn't really get into Not of This Earth. But I'm really happy that I just had a meandering chat, which is what I'm going to call it. I think I will, if ever I do this in future, I will put something on the splash screen that says it's a meandering chat. Okay, just so you know what you're getting in for. If you do want to support the stream, all you got to do is buy something from the website, no matter how big or small it is, or come to a convention, or you can go to Patreon. I think it's patreon.com/critical_kit. Everybody that's on our Patreon gets the free betas of everything that I make. So they all got Cthulhu this week, last week. They'll be getting the beta copies of, or the sort of like the simplified, not the simplified, the rules for Death Valley when it comes out. They also get sneak previews. Tales from the Crow's Nest, I like that one. Just Sonic 13, thank you. That's a good one. Yeah, so if that's one way of doing it, or you can subscribe to the Twitch. If you are not in a place financially to do that, that's not a problem, because it's a model of where the people that can, they are paying so that you can watch this for free, and that's absolutely fine. I'm happy for that to happen. this is always going to be, you know, obviously free for everybody. So yeah, right. I'm gonna just wait for Sarah to come in, but I can just keep nattering anyway. We're on what we on 2020. We've still got. I should probably do the stream for another 10 minutes, like I said I would. So yeah, if you can, I really do hope. I know. I think it was just Sonic mentioned they bought tickets to Manchester, so really excited. Let me see if I can get you our stand number. For Manchester. I did have this earlier on. Yeah. I'm sure that I don't know what it is now. I'm sure you can just get you can just grab something in there. You'll find us anyway. You will find us. There will just be, just look for all the dice people. just have a look. There'll be a big queue of them around our stall. Let's have a look. I will just do a quick search for this because it would be probably good if I announce where our stand was. Here's the show guide. I don't know. I don't know where it is now. I get so many emails from them. Yeah. So yeah, please. So just a quick overview then. Please come and see us in. If you're in the north, come and see us in Manchester. Please do try come and see us. That's this weekend. October 6th. I think it's 7th and 8th, sometime around then. If German, I know we've got some viewers from Germany and some people from Germany who are not on the stream who will definitely be coming to see us. So we're looking forward to that. Then you can come and see us. I don't know when Exeter is. I think it's November, but there's UK CGF, UK Comic and Gaming Festival. So if you're in the Southwest, you can come and see us at that. And then finally ending the year, I do believe it's let me see what date Dragon Meet is on. You can come and see us if you're in the London area. You can come and see us at Dragon Meet on the 3rd of December. That's 10 till 6 p.m. That's Hammersmith in London. Indiana Crowns. Indiana Crones, yeah. I did think about doing a sort of archaeological one on my long journey down to the southwest yesterday, but yeah, it drifted off, did that thought. But yeah, that would be quite fun, having a little crow with a cowboy hat and a whip. And yeah, Indiana Crones. Right, okay. I'm just gonna see if I can get Sarah to come in with a winner. Just give me one moment. And then we will pick a winner. I can show you the dice again as well. There they are. Lara Croft Tomb. Yeah, I guess. Well, that was. If not, I'll see if I can pick a winner. Let's have a look. No, Sarah. I don't know where Sarah's gone. She appears to have gone missing at the moment. She's gone AWOL, so I can keep nattering for a while. I'm going to talk about actually some of the stuff that I've got on my shelf. So the things that I do want to play. Right, that's fine. Okay, so how are we doing this? Is that whoever does that gets the dice, or is that the song for the dice? It's a song for the dice, and they get the dice. There we go. Okay, that's what we're going to do. So the name, right? Okay, so the winner. And what? Yeah. Okay. No, that's fine. So yeah. So the name we have got we've got a name that was picked. And this is the person that's gonna win the dice. No, that's the song they went with. I think it's I Am Sorrows. All right. Okay. That's who the winner is. Yeah. Yeah. That's the song they picked. That's the song they went with. Yeah. Okay. Right. I understand this now. That's fine. So this is that's the song name we're gonna do. And I believe I am Sorres. Right, thank you very much. I will give you that back. I am Soares. Yeah, I think that was Sarah's just going to double check that, but I think you have won. I don't know whether you're still around, but you are going to win these. Oh, I've got that thing again where it will not. Yeah, so sorry, Sarah lost the sound, so she wasn't aware that I was I was summoning her in with a winner. But yeah, I think the stream went pretty well up to then. That's fine. Yeah, okay, so as I guess, does anybody have, yeah, I am Sorries as well. If you are watching this or watching this back, or anybody knows them, please just let them know to contact Sarah at criticalkit.co.uk. That's how we do this. Once you've contacted Sarah, the dice will somehow find their way to you. There we go. I am sorry. Okay, thank you, Sarah. Yeah, that's cool. So I don't know whether if anybody's got any further questions, that's fine. Otherwise, I'm probably going to end the stream now. I am going to go off and watch House of Dragon, and then maybe go and watch the next Rings of Power, because we have we were in a lovely apartment over the weekend in Eastbourne, but we had zero internet. It was nice in a way. Yeah, it was very nice in a way to do that. But yeah, we need to catch up on some TV now, and probably catch up on some sleep as well, and catch up on some not talking. Yeah, because tomorrow we are starting it all over again. We're doing, like I said, we're doing dice boxes, and then we're getting ready to hit Manchester. So yeah, that's it. We're on 2027. I am going to head off now. Thank you everybody for joining the stream again. Please join on Thursday at 7 p.m. Where I will be doing, I will be sticking to the script, and I will be doing, I will be playing through Be Like a Crow. We are currently on, I think we're on session 5 maybe of Cybercrow. Might be 4, might be 5. Anyway, we are taking our Cybercrow through. I think they're an adult now, so yeah, we've got some pretty big tough missions to do. So yeah, like I said, I'll just echo Sarah's sentiment there. Thank you for joining us. I hope you have a lovely evening, and please try join us for Be Like a Crow this coming Thursday. And if you can't do that, we'll just join us on Tuesday, because we'll be giving away more dice next Tuesday. So thank you so much for watching, and yeah, see you next time, hopefully.